Have you ever been scammed? I have, at least 3 times. Stick around and we'll talk about it. Hi, welcome back to Collecting Nolan. This is Russ. Today we're going to be talking about getting scammed. And I think it's important to talk about for a couple of reasons. Number one, we're all human. We all make mistakes. So just expressing your frustrations and things with the hobby is like a natural thing. And number two is that by exposing these scams and the different types of cards that are involved in the scams, it just makes you more knowledgeable about the hobby. So today I'd like to discuss the 3 times that I was scammed, at least that I know of. So basically, I got scammed when I first started back in this hobby a couple of years ago. And I was looking to buy a Nolan Ryan rookie card, and I found one that was graded. This guy here that we've seen before, and that's not fake, but to be honest, I didn't even really know that there was, at this point I really didn't even think that there was a lot of fake Nolan Ryan rookie cards out there until I started watching YouTube and stuff like that. I became aware of the different types of fakes, and when I started learning, I was gonna make a video about how to spot a fake Nolan Ryan card. But there's quite a few videos about that already on YouTube. And the one guy, his name is Ryan Nolan, if you can believe that. He wrote a book, and I'm not getting paid for this. I'm just telling you, this book's pretty good. You know, it talks about a lot of different cards and stuff like that, including Nolan Ryan's rookie card. But it's called Spotting Fakes, written by Ryan Nolan, and he talks about not just baseball cards, but a whole bunch of other different cards. But Nolan Ryan's rookie card is in this book. So he just goes through a checklist of what to look for and things like that. And he also made an excellent video about how to spot fake Nolan Ryan cards. And I will put that link in the description, in the video's description. So I'm not going to do a better job than Ryan. I mean, he's really, he knows way more than I do, and he explains it very well. So, you know, I am not gonna try to redo something that's already been done very well. So what I am going to talk about are the 3 times that I've gotten scammed. At least I think that I've gotten scammed. So, well, 1 for sure. So the first time I got scammed, I saw a listing for a 1971 Nolan Ryan O-Pee-Chee card. You know, and it looks like the Topps card on the front. However, instead of the green back on the Topps card, the light is terrible, guys. I'm sorry. Gotta figure this out, but. So it has a green back. Instead of the green back, it actually has a yellow back, like this Bud Harrelson O-Pee-Chee from 1971, which I picked up this Bud Harrelson O-Pee-Chee because Nolan is the pitcher. So I thought that was cool. Anyway, so the 1971 O-Pee-Chee Nolan Ryan was being sold on eBay. It showed both sides. It had the yellow side and the front side. It was in pretty good condition. It was ungraded. So I pulled the trigger on it. I was pretty excited because I've been looking for that card for a while. So fast forward to the time when I finally get it in the mail, and I open it up and I'm all excited, and to my disappointment, nope. 1971 Topps Nolan Ryan in my hands, which, don't get me wrong, like that card too, but when you're paying the extra money, because the O-Pee-Chee is a little bit more rare, especially to get in a pretty good condition. So I was pretty disappointed. So, you know, I contacted the seller. I was like, well, you know, maybe you just sent me the wrong one, because that sometimes happens. So I contacted the seller, and he's like, "Yeah, I sent you the wrong one. I'll send you the right one." And I never heard from him again. It never came. There was no other further communication. I tried contacting him multiple times. And he actually ended up, I don't even know how he did this, but he ended up yanking the sale off of eBay somehow. So there wasn't even like a record of it ever taking place. So I couldn't, so then I didn't even remember the name. And so it turns out that I paid quite a bit of money for a 1971 Topps that was in okay condition, but it's not the OPG. And so I still haven't gotten that card, unfortunately. Anyway, so that was the first time. So even when, you're doing your homework on these cards, you're doing your homework on the sellers, you're checking them for their, how many sales they had. And maybe I didn't look into that enough. Like maybe this guy didn't have a lot of sales under his belt and not a lot of comments. But even then, there are times where, they just, you get taken advantage of, unfortunately. So then, so that's my first time that I got scammed. The second and third time, they happened relatively close to each other. So again, this is when I was young into this hobby again. I thought I was going to be okay buying some cards. And then, so the cards that I was looking after were this is the 1991 Topps Desert Shield card, which I don't know how many people know this, but I'm sure they're pretty sought after cards because of that shield in the top. Here's the record breaker. So I saw these cards, and I didn't know at the time, but these are also some of the more highly counterfeited cards in the hobby, unfortunately. And I was like, how in the world can they counterfeit that card? I mean, that has that shield on there. It's like gotta be next to impossible, I thought. Well, I thought wrong. They can do it, and they do it all the time. So I bought these cards, and I paid a good amount of money. I think I paid close to $200 for this guy. And I think I paid $75 for this one. And then I started seeing like all these videos online, and I probably should have, that's more on me as well. So again, I am doing this as a way to prevent others from making the same mistakes that I did. To always do your homework, always be wary, be alert of the different types of, I guess, card forgeries that are out there. So I was kind of disappointed. Let's say that, because one, put a lot of money out there, and two, it's just like, it's very frustrating because now you're like, man, should I even start buy cards anymore? Like, what's the point if all I get are fake cards? I mean, you put up this good money, and you do what you can online, and the fakes are so good that I don't even know if the sellers that are selling these Desert Shield items are even aware that they're fake. I mean, because we're going to look at these, because today I felt like I wanted to talk about the Desert Shield ones a little bit. I mean, I'm not an expert, but I've seen, but I play one on TV, right? No. So I've done a little bit of research, and I watched a couple of videos that show like some of the telltale signs of these Desert Shield cards. And I thought, hey, when we're talking about these, why don't we just do another video, because there's a ton of fake ones floating out there. There's probably more fakes than legitimate ones at this point. I'm not entirely sure. So what I did was I ended up buying just a common Desert Shield, because I thought, are they going to fake a Kevin Reimer? I don't think so, but Who knows these days? Anyway, so on top of Ryan Nolan's video, I'm also going to post some videos that I thought were pretty good videos to determine um, Topps Desert Shield fakes from the real ones, and we're gonna talk about some of them right now. Okay, so what I've done here, guys, is I've taken a photo of each of the cards. So in the top, in the left is the Kevin Reimer. The middle is the Nolan Ryan #1, and on the right is the record breaker Nolan Ryan. And one of the first criteria is looking at the seal is that the shield should be flat on the bottom, which in all these photos it's pretty flat. Although, yeah, I would say they're all pretty flat looking at it. Another thing that I've noticed too, and I had to look at these under a loop, and I apologize if these photos aren't the sharpest. It's tough to get that close with my iPhone camera that I use. So, but another thing is where the O in operation is in relation to the Desert Shield underneath it. So in the Kevin Reimer, the O looks like it's in between the E and the S in Desert Shield, while in both the Nolan Ryan #1 in the middle, that one's kind of in between the S and the E in Desert Shield, and then in the Record Breaker one, it's kind of right on top of the S. So in comparison, it looks kind of suspicious to me about the Nolan Ryan cards in relation to the Kevin Reimer. Now, in one of the videos, it says that the emblem should be sharp printed, and in general, the Kevin Reimer is you can, like, if you take a loop through the Kevin Reimer shield, it is pretty sharp printing wise, and for the palm tree is pretty sharp, and you can even see like little indentations where they try to put the palm leaves in, and also within the American flag, the stars are pretty well delineated. Whereas when I look at my Nolan Ryan #1, which is in the middle, the palm tree looks kind of more globular, a little bit more sloppy. There isn't great indentations for the individual palm leaves, and as far as the stars, even looking at it under a loop, it's hard to see individual stars, so it's not as crisp. So, I do have, I don't have high hopes for that middle one being real at all. And then if I look at the Operation Desert Shield one, so that one's a little bit more sharp than the middle one. It's not as sharp as the Kevin Reimer one, but I can definitely see stars within the American flag on that one. So it's just weird to me because it just seems it's sharp, but the print isn't exactly the same as you would expect in the, like you see in the Kevin Reimer one on the left. So there's that. Also, when you're looking at the palm tree, the longest palm tree branch should drop down between the R and the A in operation, but it shouldn't touch. So in all three of these, it's funny because, well, it's not funny. The operation in the Kevin Reimer on the left is spread out pretty well, whereas the operation in all the other ones, it's kind of more jumbled together a little bit. But the palm tree doesn't touch in any of them, and the palm tree branch, the longest one, does come in between the R and the A in all of them. So that's a check mark for the good. Also, like I was saying before, some of the, like, you can tell, like, the coconuts in the palm tree on the Kevin Reimer one, especially under a loop, it looks a lot better. And then the middle one, like I said, was kind of more globular, not really well delineated. And also on the one on the right, slightly more delineated, but still not as crisp as the Operation Desert Shield. So I have my, I'm kind of, I'm kind of thinking that the two Nolans are not correct. But we'll reserve for the last test. We'll see what happens, and that's going to be under black light. So um, let's do that next. Okay, so for the final test, it's a black light test. So basically, what the video says is that the real ones should have a glowing border if you shine it with a black light. So I'm going to turn off the lights here, and my loop actually has a black light on it, so that's pretty cool. But we're going to take a peek at if these can actually work with the black light. So let's try that now. Okay. So here is the Kevin Reimer. So I have my loop, and I mean, it's not a great glow, but it does glow a little bit when you shine the black light on it. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one here that I'm most concerned about is being fake. Let's see what happens when I shine the black light on that. Yeah, so shine the black light on this doesn't really elicit a response. Here's the Reimer again. Just see how that kind of lights up whenever you hit it. This Nolan here is not doing that at all. Doesn't really do much. Okay, so this one, the $200 one, is probably fake. Is more than likely fake. So then let's go to the record breaker one. Now this record breaker one appears to be glowing, actually. It's picking up like the Reimer. So let me get the Reimer and this one together, and we can compare them. So the back one's the Reimer, this front one's the Nolan record breaker. And you can see it, the edge is fluorescing. So, what does that mean? Well, hard to say, but let's so then I'll pull in the third Nolan here, and we'll just hold that black light up. So this is the number one on the left, and then the Kevin Reimer in the middle, and also this guy. So give me a second, because I want to get these out of the top holders, because maybe the top holder is causing some issue. Let's go ahead and look at the Kevin Reimer without the top. Yeah, fluoresces. The Nolan number one, not doing too much. And then the Nolan record breaker. I feel like that fluoresces to me, so that's interesting. So guys, that's all I have. So I'm still kind of up in the air about that third one, that record breaker, I might have to check some of my 1991 Topps cars that I have and see if any of them really, see if any of them glow in the dark with that black light, because the front of that card makes me a little wary. So unless there was lots of print variations with that, it has me a little wary to think that that is a fake card. But so I guess unless they faked it really well, so I guess there's two possibilities. The first possibility is it's real. The second possibility is it's a fake, and there was 91 Topps cards that also glow in the dark with black light, and they faked it with one of those. Those are the options, I think. So, it would be kind of cool if I could hear from you guys as to what you guys think. Do you think that's a real record breaker one? I mean, I'm pretty sure that number one is fake. So, I've already tacked that one up as a loss, but I'm just still kind of heads up. I'm still kind of have my mixed thoughts about that number 6, simply because of the way, it glows in the dark. Because from that one video that I saw, like, that was like the telltale sign. But who knows, could they have made 91 Topps that glow in the dark on black light? I don't know that. If any of you guys do, I'm gonna go check right now, actually, because I'm still just kind of processing the fact that that still could be a real card. But it's just so weird to me that the Desert Shield could have so much variation to it. I know there's variations in color. It can be gold or silver, but you would think that the differences between the font and, the palm trees and all that stuff would be kind of the same. So very interesting. If you guys want, have you ever been scammed? You can, if you want to talk about it, you can just give a comment below, or shoot me an email or something like that. I mean, because the more we share about our experiences, the better we become as collectors and more of experts in the field, and just getting your thoughts about it and your thoughts on that number 6. I don't really know. So any information you guys could give me would be great. So that's it for this. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye. So after more research and a haircut, I looked at Beckett.com, and Beckett basically said that there are variations with the card backs, including ones that have positive fluorescence under black light. So given all that information, and with how different the front emblem looks from what I think to be a true Kevin Reimer Topps Desert Storm card, I'm really have doubts about even the record breaker at this point, because they probably just took one that had positive fluorescence under black light, or they just got lucky, I don't know, and then put some emblem on it to make it look like a Desert Shield. But I think when you're looking at these Topps Desert Shield cards, I think you have to look at everything in total and really weigh out what you're seeing, and have a loop on you, have a black light on you, and if you can have like an example of a true Desert Storm card, that way you're less likely to be fooled. So tell me what you guys think. Do you guys think that record breaker is any good, or do you think it's completely bogus? I'm kind of thinking it is bogus, but I'd like to hear, some of your thoughts. And if there's somebody out there that is more of an expert at this than your common Joes on YouTube or me in general, I'd love to hear from you. So that's all I have for you guys today. So thanks, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.